Hi, it's Ron Sethi here at Music Messe in Frankfurt for Ask.Audio magazine. I'm here with Mike from Waves.
G'day.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm always good, mate.
Cool, cool. Well, we're here to see some of the latest new products from Waves. I think we're going to start with the Butch Vig vocals.
Absolutely, I'm going to start with Butch Vig. So this is the Butch Vig vocal. Now the first thing you're going to notice is that it looks really kind of crazy. What we do with the artist signature plugins is we actually let them help us design how the plugin's going to look, because we want them to actually put some of their personality into it. So we send them a big questionnaire. He didn't fill it out. He sent us a bunch of pictures instead, and we came up with this, and he said, perfect! Now, this plugin is a plugin different to the artist signature plugins we've released in the past. It is there specifically to help you get a really good sound on a vocal. No effects, no wizardry. It's all low cut, high cut, de-esser, input, output, gain reduction, compression. There's also a knob down here called focus that is a few things that will actually give you a more present sound and a lot crisper sound. Like any of the artist signature plugins, we're never actually going to tell you exactly what's in it, because it's not relevant. These plugins are designed to give you a really good sound without you having to worry about whether you actually know exactly what you're doing or not. We don't want you to dig yourself into a hole. So the other thing that you'll notice here is if you look here, if you zoom in a bit, Mr. Cameraman, it's a geeky thing, but as I move the input or the output, the cogs move.
I mean, it is a really enticing, engaging interface.
Isn't it?
You know, unlike anything I've seen before, to be honest.
Well, Butch Vig is like no one we've met before. We love him. We love him. So this plugin is amazing. Obviously, very, very new. We do entice you to actually download it, download the 7-day demo, mess around with it. You won't want to stop using it.
Cool. Okay, nice one. What's next? I know that there's a couple more plugins we wanted to
absolutely.
take a look at.
Now I'm going to open up Studio Rack here, because obviously Studio Rack, which you can get for free from your Waves account and gives you the chance to save a chain of up to 8 plugins as one preset. I've opened it up here, and the first one you're going to see is the new DBX 160. Now, we've actually done this in cooperation with Harman Kardon, or Harman Kardon, depending on who you are. I'm Australian, so I just pronounce it phonetically. The Harman dudes. So this is a model, an exact model of the original DBX 160, not the digital VU one, but the one with the wooden sides and everything analog. It sounds amazing. One of the things you have to be aware of with the DBX 160 is that you either love it or you don't like it. There is no in between. It's a model of a piece of hardware. It's not something that everybody will love, but again, we do want you to try it out, because it sounds amazing on drums, bass, and vocals, and you can do some really, really crunchy things with it.
Cool. Now,
the last one is a plugin that we actually haven't released yet. So this is a plugin, double click on it. This is H-Verb. Now, H-Reverb is part of our hybrid series. So we've got the H-Comp, we've got the H-EQ, we've got the H-Delay, now we've got H-Reverb. So this is a hybrid between our digital technology and a lot of research and modeling we've done on analog hardware reverb units. Now, we sent this out to all of our Waves artists after we'd spent 2.5 years working on it, and they came back with a bunch of changes, and we decided we were going to go back to the drawing board. So this is actually 5 years in the making. 5 years. When you first open it, it looks like a reverb. A couple of things to notice though is that you have all this enticing stuff down the bottom here, and I'll get to in a minute. Now there are 2 versions that you get with H-Reverb. First one is this one, which is called H-Reverb, and it gives you up to a 6-second tail. It also, however, comes with another one called H-Reverb Long, which gives you up to a 12-second tail. Other than that, it's exactly the same. However, we split them up because having a reverb that does a 12-second tail can be rather CPU intensive.
Gotcha.
So let's stick with this one for now.
So is this using convolution reverb technology?
Kinda, sorta, but you can't touch the impulses. Okay? So now,
I take it you spent a lot of time going through and kind of like sculpting them almost.
We did. I mean, when you spend 5 years on one plugin, you tend to get really OCD about it.
Cool.
So the first thing you notice is you've got a bunch of previews here, visual previews of envelope releases. So you can pick one, and then you have this little button here, which obviously you can't hear right now because it's a trade show. But if you hit it, it's called Excite. It gives you a filtered noise preview of what that reverb tail will sound like. So if you're putting it on like a vocal or a drum or something, but you have no signal, you have a way of telling exactly what that's going to sound like before you even start. Then you've got all the other normal things that you've got in reverb. But if you hit Expand, you have an EQ for the reverb, which gives you the ability to EQ only the reverb part and the reverb tail itself. It's not touching the source at all.
Really cool.
Underneath that, you have a compressor dynamic section, and you can either use it as a ducker, a compressor, or a de-esser. And again, the de-esser is only de-essing the tail of the reverb, so all the work you've done to your vocal source stays where it's supposed to be. All you're doing is affecting how you want your reverb to be. In the middle, you have an input echoes and an output echoes section, so you can add in some 2-tap, 6-tap delays for the build-up or the tail of the reverb. And then over here, you have a dampener, an envelope section, and an LFO, which can either be set to a rate or you can have it free rate. And then down here, you've got host BPM, you've got a drive knob to make it grungy. And because we're really geeky and this is a hybrid system, you can turn analog on or off, and then you can take it down to 12-bit or an 8-bit reverb. Now, once you've done all this wizardry, you can collapse it again and decide what you want on or what you want off.
I love that. That's really, really cool.
And it's blue.
Well,
we like blue.
I like the collapsible nature of it, making it simple, but then really getting deep into the functions.
That sounds really good. Collapsible nature. I'm going to use that.
Sounds like a band name.
It does, really, yeah. Does that help, guys?
I think that's great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah, great. And this is all the new stuff from Waves at Music Messe.